I kicked open the basement door and froze. My wife's laughter hit me first, followed by a man's voice that should never have been in my house. A wine glass tipped over, red spilling across the floor like a crime scene. She looked straight at me and whispered one word that changed everything. It started with a leaky faucet. Not a metaphor. Literally, the kitchen faucet had a drip. A slow, rhythmic, infuriating tap that echoed through the night. My wife, Tanya, kept nudging me about it, saying we should call someone already. I told her I'd get to it, but she rolled her eyes like always. "You're not exactly handy, babe," she said with that tone, the one that slices your ego without raising her voice. Fine. She called a plumber. I wasn't home when he came the first time. She said he was young, but professional. I didn't ask for more. Why would I? Tanya and I had been married for 6 years. We had our ups and downs, but nothing major. No kids. A small house in the suburbs. She worked remotely for a software firm. I worked evenings managing a logistics team. Most nights, we missed each other by a couple hours. Not ideal, but manageable. A week after the faucet was fixed, I noticed her mood shift. Subtle things. Her phone suddenly had a password. She started showering at weird times, like in the middle of the day. She'd laugh while texting, but closed the screen when I walked by. "Just a group chat," she said once, waving me off like I was interrupting. It didn't hit me all at once. It was like watching paint peel. Tiny flakes at first, then a whole chunk comes off, and you realize the wall's been rotting underneath. Then one Tuesday night, I came home early. There was a second car in the driveway. Not one I recognized. A white pickup, clean, with a company logo on the side. I slowed as I pulled in, trying to read it. The logo just said Fresh Flow Plumbing. Catchy. Inside, the house was quiet. Too quiet. I didn't hear voices. No footsteps. Just the sound of a TV playing faintly in the bedroom. I dropped my keys in the bowl by the door. My shoes stayed on. The bedroom door was open about a foot. I pushed it the rest of the way slowly. Empty. TV on, bed messy, but no one inside. I turned it off. That's when I heard a thud. Not from upstairs. From the basement. I took the steps slowly. The basement door was ajar, lights on. The first thing I saw when I reached the bottom was Tanya's purse on the washing machine. The second was a half-full glass of red wine on the dryer. She never drank red wine. That was my thing. There were voices behind the storage shelf wall that separated the laundry area from the back room. I couldn't make out what they were saying. I didn't move. Just listened. Then I heard it, her laugh. That high, flirty version of it she usually saved for social events. Another voice followed. A male voice. Low. Confident. I stood there for a second, frozen. Then backed up, step by step, up the stairs. I didn't want to be the guy who walked in and caught something he couldn't unsee. Instead, I waited. I sat in the kitchen, dead silent, for almost 40 minutes. Scrolling my phone, pretending everything was normal. Eventually, I heard the basement door creak. Footsteps. 2 sets. One heavier than the other. The front door opened, then closed. Only one set of footsteps came back into the kitchen. Tanya didn't see me right away. She jumped when she noticed me. "Oh, hey, I didn't think you'd be home yet." I looked at her face. She wasn't flustered. Not nervous. She looked annoyed. I nodded slowly. "Who was that?" She blinked. "Who?" "The guy who just left." She gave a short laugh. "Oh, that was the plumber. The faucet's leaking again." No apology. No embarrassment. Just a cool, flat delivery like it was obvious. I didn't say anything else. Just stared. She didn't flinch. Instead, she kissed me on the cheek and said, "I'm starving. Want me to make pasta?" We ate in silence. Well, I ate. She pushed penne around her plate like she was sketching shapes in marinara. "So how was work?" she asked. I shrugged. "Usual." She nodded. "Same here." I watched her. She didn't meet my eyes once. Just chewed slowly and kept sipping from the same wine glass she used downstairs. She hadn't even rinsed it. After dinner, she said she was tired and headed to bed early. I said I'd stay up, clean the kitchen. She mumbled something like, "Thanks, babe," and disappeared. I didn't clean anything. I waited until I heard the bedroom door shut. Then I slipped out the front door and walked down the street. The white pickup was gone, but I remembered the name, Fresh Flow Plumbing. I Googled it on my phone. Small local business. 2 employees. One was the owner, an older guy. The other was his apprentice, Damien, certified apprentice plumber with 4 years of experience. There was a photo. Slim, tattooed forearms. early 30s, smiling like he'd just landed a date with someone's wife. That night, I barely slept. Tanya curled up next to me at some point, threw an arm over my chest like nothing was wrong. I stared at the ceiling until my alarm went off. I tried to act normal over the next few days. I didn't ask about the plumber. I didn't press. I just watched. She was more cheerful suddenly, like a weight had been lifted, like lying to my face was actually a relief. On Friday, I told her I had to work late. I didn't. I parked a few blocks away and walked back toward the house around 7 p.m. Her car was in the driveway. The living room light was off, but the bedroom light on. I waited. At 7:23, a car pulled up. Not a white pickup this time. A black hatchback. Windows tinted. The driver didn't get out right away. Eventually, the door opened. Out stepped Damien. In a black t-shirt, tool belt over his shoulder. No toolbox. He didn't knock. He walked right in. I didn't go to the door. I didn't do anything. I stood there on the corner with my fists clenched in my jacket pockets. At 9:04, he left. Tanya didn't text me the rest of the night. I stayed out until after midnight. Next morning, I made coffee and sat in the kitchen. She came down in pajamas, acting casual. "Morning," she said. "Hey," I replied. She poured herself coffee. "You were out late last night." "Yeah." Warehouse was backed up. Didn't leave until almost 11. "Damn," she said. "Long one." I nodded. "Anyone stop by?" She blinked. "What?" "No. Just me and Netflix." I stared right at her. Weird. Thought I saw someone come in. She froze for half a second. Then, "Oh wait, yeah. The plumber. Again. He came by for like 10 minutes, just to check something in the bathroom." I said nothing. She changed the subject. Fast. By Sunday, things got weird. She started initiating intimacy again. Trying to kiss more, laugh more, touch more. Out of nowhere. Like flicking a switch. I went along with it. I had to know how far she was willing to take the lie. Then, Monday night, I caught her whispering on the phone upstairs. I crept up the stairs. She was in the guest room. Door opened just a crack. "No, he doesn't know anything," she was saying. "I promise. I'm keeping it light." Pause. "No." I told him it was just the faucet again. He bought it. He's not suspicious. Another pause. "I miss you too." Silence. Then softly, "I can't tonight. Maybe tomorrow." I stepped away and went back downstairs before she saw me. She didn't even bother to close the door. I started leaving the house earlier. Coming back later. Not because I had to, but because I didn't want to look at her. I didn't want to sit across the table and pretend. And every day, she got bolder. By Wednesday, she was humming while making breakfast. Tanya never hummed. That morning she kissed me on the cheek and said, "You've been so sweet lately." I didn't respond. Thursday, something new happened. I was taking out the trash after work. When I came back in, I noticed a faint red mark on her collarbone. A scratch. She hadn't been wearing it earlier. Now it was visible beneath her loose tank top. "What happened there?" I asked. She looked down, startled. "Oh, I think I scratched myself putting on a necklace. Class got stuck." I stared at her. "You weren't wearing a necklace today." She froze for less than a second, then forced a smile. "Must have taken it off." "I don't remember. Maybe yesterday." I nodded slowly. She turned and started doing the dishes. I checked the bathroom trash can later. There was a crumpled tissue with smudged lipstick. She hadn't worn any all day. By Friday, I'd had enough. I took a sick day, stayed home, pretended to leave, then parked a few blocks away and walked back. At 10:12 a.m., the same black hatchback pulled up. This time, I walked around the back of the house and peeked through the small window of the laundry room. I saw her lead him in, Damien, laughing like they were on a first date. No tool belt this time. Just his hands on her waist within 30 seconds. They didn't go upstairs. They went downstairs again. I waited an hour, then walked straight to the front door and let myself in. Quiet. No footsteps. No voices. I didn't go down. I walked to the fridge, opened a beer, sat at the dining table, and waited. About 20 minutes later, I heard the stairs creak. 2 sets of feet. Light, then heavy. The moment I saw him, shirt untucked, a smirk fading into confusion, I stood up. He froze. Tanya came up behind him and nearly ran into his back. Her eyes widened like she'd seen a ghost. "You're home." "Yep," I said. "Early." No one said anything. I walked around the table. "So, plumber again?" Damien looked like he was about to say something. She cut in fast. "Listen, it's not what it looks like." I laughed. "Really?" Because it seems you've been spending a lot of time with a plumber in our basement these past 2 weeks. She stepped forward. Please, let me explain. Save it, I snapped. I looked at Damien. You can leave. He looked at her. She didn't say a word. So he picked up his jacket and walked out. I didn't follow. I just stood there, staring at her. Tanya took a shaky breath. It was a mistake. I said nothing. I didn't plan this. It just happened. He came to fix the sink, and we got to talking in. And then what? I cut in. You just stumbled into his arms? Her eyes narrowed. Don't be difficult, Tom. I took a step closer. You've been lying to my face every day. Don't start acting like I'm the problem. I didn't want to hurt you. You didn't want to get caught, I said flatly. Silence. She looked away. Then, quietly, it's over now. I told him we can't keep doing this. I felt guilty. I was going to tell you. When? She didn't answer. I nodded slowly, turned away, and went upstairs. She didn't follow. She didn't sleep in our bed that night. I heard her crying in the guest room. At first, I thought it might have been for show. But it didn't stop. For hours, on and off. Like her guilt finally decided to clock in for a shift. By morning, she was in the kitchen acting like nothing happened. Eggs? She asked. I stared at her, still in pajamas, flipping eggs with shaky hands. No thanks. She set down the spatula. Tom, I know I screwed up. I know I hurt you. But I want to fix this. I leaned on the counter. Fix what? Your reputation? Or the marriage you torched? She turned. Both. Can't have both. I'll cut him off. Block him. Delete everything. I said nothing. I didn't think you'd still care. You've been so distant the last few months. I scoffed. So you cheat because I worked late? It's not like that. I stared her down. Then tell me what it is. She hesitated. I don't know. I felt ignored. Like I was just part of the furniture in this house. He made me feel seen again. Like I mattered. I shook my head. You mattered. You just wanted more attention than I could give after 10-hour shifts. I know, she said quickly. I know, and I hate that I did this. But I'm here. I want to fix it. I walked out. Over the next few days, she tried everything. Long texts. We need to talk moments. Little touches. Cleaning the house. Cooking dinner. Acting like some 1950s homemaker reboot. I didn't buy any of it. I barely spoke to her. Then Sunday night, she dropped the act. Are you just going to keep avoiding me? She snapped as I walked past her in the hallway. I'm not avoiding you. I just don't want to hear more bullshit. She crossed her arms. I told you it's over with him. I'm trying, Tom. You weren't trying when you were sneaking around. I said I was sorry. I laughed bitterly. You're sorry you got caught. She stepped closer. You don't get to punish me forever. Maybe not, I said. But I also don't have to stay. Her face cracked. You're leaving? I'm thinking about it. Tears again. Please, don't do this. Don't throw away everything over a mistake. Mistakes are accidents, I said. You made choices. That night, I stayed out again. She blew up my phone. Texts. Missed calls. Where are you? Please talk to me. I love you. I didn't answer. But I read every word. Wednesday night, I walked into the house and stopped in my tracks. The dining table was set like a wedding anniversary dinner. Candles lit, wine glasses out, plates set perfectly. Steak was on the stove. My favorite. Tanya stood there in a black dress she hadn't worn in over a year. What's this? I asked. She smiled like we were playing house. Dinner. Just us. No phones. Just talk. I didn't move. You think steak's going to fix this? She shrugged. I had to try something. I sat down. She poured the wine like she was trying to impress a restaurant critic. I took a sip. It was the same bottle we'd opened for her last birthday. We ate in silence for a few minutes. Then she started. I emailed 2 couples counselors today. Local. Reputable. Okay. She leaned forward. I want to fix this, Tom. I mean it. I know I broke your trust, but I'll do whatever it takes to rebuild it. I didn't say anything. Just kept eating. She reached across the table. Please. Say something. I set my fork down. How long? She blinked. What? You and him. How long has it been going on? Her face twitched. She looked down at her plate. Since the first time he came by. To fix the faucet. That was 2 months ago. I know. I sat back in my chair. So every time I came home late, every time you said you were just tired, it was because of him? She looked up sharply. It wasn't like that. What was it like? She hesitated. It was stupid. He flirted. I flirted back. It escalated. Escalated. She sighed. We crossed the line. It happened. I felt awful afterward. Yet it kept going. So, not a one-time mistake. A recurring event. Her tone got defensive. Why are you dragging this out? I already told you I want to fix it. Because I'm trying to understand who you really are. She stood up suddenly, started pacing. You want me to beg? Fine. I'll beg. But you don't get to act like you've been the perfect husband. You've been distant for months. Distant doesn't justify betrayal. I know that. But I didn't go looking for it. It just happened. I stood too. People don't accidentally cheat for 2 months, Tanya. That's not a trip and fall accident. She didn't answer, just stared at the floor. Then, softly, do you still love me? I didn't know what to say. I wasn't sure if I hated her or just hated the version of her I'd discovered. She stepped closer. Because I still love you. I laughed. Really? You say that after everything? I made a mistake. No. You made choices. Repeated once. Silence. She looked like she wanted to argue. Instead, she just said, tell me what you want. Do you want a divorce? I didn't answer right away. Then, I want to fix it. But I don't know if I can. Her face broke, but no tears came. Just silence. That night, I slept in the guest room. Again, the week after our big fight felt like the calm after a storm. Or maybe the quiet before another one. Tanya didn't bring up counseling again. No long speeches. No tears. She shifted into something worse. Normalcy. She started acting like nothing had happened. Suddenly, she was cheerful in the mornings. Humming again. Making fresh smoothies. Asking if I wanted to join her for yoga videos in the living room. As if 2 weeks ago, she wasn't caught red-handed with another man in our basement. I played along just enough to keep the peace. Nodded when she spoke. Ate what she cooked. Slept in the guest room and didn't pretend otherwise. But inside, I was watching. Waiting. Then Thursday happened. A freak power outage hit the warehouse, and they sent everyone home early. I pulled into the driveway around 3 p.m. Her car was there. I didn't expect her to be home. She usually ran errands at that time. I stepped inside quietly. The house was still. Too still. No music. No vacuuming. No clatter from the kitchen. Then I heard something upstairs. Voices. I moved slowly, keeping my steps soft. I reached the bottom of the staircase and froze, listening. Her voice. I told you. I just need more time. Muffled male voice replied. She responded, sharper this time. No. You don't get to push me like this. I said I'd handle it. Another pause. Then a quiet laugh, hers. That was enough for me. I turned around, walked out the front door, and drove off. I didn't go far. Parked a few blocks away and sat there, staring at the steering wheel. My hands weren't shaking. I wasn't angry. I was just done. It wasn't about her cheating anymore. It was about the lying. The ease of it. How smoothly it all came to her now. After about 2 hours, I came back. The house looked the same. Her car still in the driveway. Inside, Tanya was curled up on the couch with a blanket and the TV on low volume. She looked up with a practiced smile. Hey, she said casually. Home early. Yeah. Power outage. Oh, she nodded. You hungry? I was thinking Thai. Sure. She ordered, made small talk, acted like a sitcom wife trying to fill a laugh track. I barely responded. I didn't need to anymore. Her performance wasn't for me. It was for herself. Later that night, while she was in the shower, I did what I hadn't done until then. I checked her phone. I expected it to be clean, and it was. No texts. No call logs. Her recent apps were cleared. Everything wiped. Except one thing. Her rideshare app. She forgot to delete the trip history. I opened it. There was a completed ride at 3:41 p.m. that day. Pick up, our address. Drop off. A plaza about 10 blocks away. Starbucks. A parking lot. I stared at it for a full minute. So that's what she did. Waited until I left. Then called a car. Got him out before I could come back. She was still seeing him. Still bringing him into my house. Still lying. And now she was more careful. Smarter. Strategic. Which meant only one thing. She thought she could get away with it. It was just after midnight when Tanya came into the guest room. I was still awake, scrolling aimlessly through my phone. She didn't knock, just opened the door and stood there like she owned the space. We can't keep doing this, she said flatly. I didn't respond. Just glanced up. She stepped inside, arms crossed, eyes tense. I know you don't trust me. And I get that. But this, whatever this is, she gestured vaguely between us. It's not sustainable. Still, I said nothing. She took a breath. I haven't seen him. I closed my phone and looked her in the eye. When? Since that day, she said quickly. Since you saw him here. I raised an eyebrow. Really? Yes. I tilted my head. You absolutely sure about that? She frowned. You don't believe me? Not for a second. She took a few steps closer, defensive now. I've been trying, Tom. I've stayed home. I've been transparent. I'm doing what I can. No, I said. You're doing what you think looks good. That's different. Her voice sharpened. What do you want me to do? Sit in a glass box? I didn't answer. Instead, I reached into the drawer beside me and pulled out a folded piece of paper. Printed earlier that day. I tossed it onto the bed. She picked it up and stared. Her face changed when she saw what it was, a rideshare receipt. Pick up, our address. Drop off, a shopping plaza. Time stamped for the exact afternoon. I came home early and overheard voices upstairs. Found this in your app history, I said. She looked up. You went through my phone? I shrugged. You mean the phone you already scrubbed clean? She let the paper fall to the floor. You had no right. I laughed once. That's your angle? Not what it proves, but that I caught you. He stopped by? Briefly, she said. I told him not to. He didn't listen. Did you tell him to wait upstairs while you finished lying to your husband? Tom, I didn't sleep with him that day, she snapped. He came over, we talked, and he left. I raised my voice for the first time. That's not the one you think it is, Tanya. She went silent. Her eyes darted away. I want you to leave for a few days, I said finally. Go stay with your sister. I need space. Her mouth dropped open. You're kicking me out of my house. I'm asking for space in the only place I have to breathe. She was quiet for a long time. Then, softly, so that's it? After everything, you just want me gone? For now. She shook her head slowly, like she didn't believe what she was hearing. This is our marriage, Tom. You're throwing it away. No, I said calmly. You already did that. I'm just turning off the lights. She stared at me, unreadable. Then she left the room. I heard drawers opening and closing quietly. No door slamming. No yelling. By morning, she was gone. A few of her things were still in the closet, but her essentials were missing. She left a note on the fridge. I'll stay at my sister's. Call me when you're ready to talk. I'll be waiting. That same afternoon, I contacted a divorce lawyer. I didn't tell her. Not yet. With Tanya gone, the house felt still. Not peaceful. Not chaotic. Just still. Like it was holding its breath, waiting for something to snap. I slept in my own bed for the first time in weeks. The sheets still smelled like her shampoo. I considered washing them, but left them as is. I wanted the discomfort. It helped keep me alert. 2 days later, she texted me. Tanya, can we talk? Me. Not yet. Tanya, please. I left it on read. Instead, I used the time to meet with the lawyer. She was direct. Efficient. Said I had more than enough to push for fault-based divorce. Said with the right framing, we could protect most of the assets. The house. Mine. Joint accounts? Could be frozen today if I wanted. I didn't do it. Not yet. I wasn't hesitating for her. I was waiting for the moment when she would finally stop pretending. It came sooner than I thought. That Friday night, I got a call from a number I didn't recognize. Local area code. I answered. Tom. It was a male voice. Young. Familiar. Who's this? Pause. It's Damien. I stood up. What the hell do you want? Look. Man, I didn't know she was married at first, all right? She didn't tell me. I didn't speak. He continued. By the time I found out, it was already complicated. She said you two were basically over. I still said nothing. She told me she was leaving you. That she was just waiting for the right time. I believed her. Why are you calling me now? I asked. Because she showed up at my place this morning. That made me pause. What? She came over. Said she left you. Said she was ready to be with me. Wanted to talk about next steps. I laughed once, bitter and short. Let me guess. You weren't as excited as she expected. Not even close, he muttered. I told her I wasn't interested in being her rebound. She flipped. Started yelling, accusing me of using her. Then she left. I didn't know what to say. She's a mess, man. I figured you should know. Thanks for the update, I said, then hung up. 10 minutes later, my phone buzzed. Tanya, I made a mistake. I don't want him. I want you. She had no idea I just talked to him. She thought she was still in control of the story. That night, I packed up a duffel bag, grabbed the spare keys, and drove out to our family's lake cabin 2 hours away. I didn't tell anyone. I needed to think without distractions. When I got there, the air was cold. The cabin was musty. I didn't turn on the lights. Just sat down on the old couch and stared at my phone. Tanya was unraveling. I could see it happening in real time. But I wasn't done yet. I needed one more thing before I pulled the trigger. I stayed at the cabin for 2 nights. No phone calls. No emails. Just me, a notebook, and the kind of silence you only get in the woods. On the 3rd day, I drove back. I had a plan. When I got home, Tanya's car was back in the driveway. She'd let herself in. I opened the door and found her sitting at the kitchen table, eyes red, mascara smudged. A small suitcase sat near her feet. "You didn't answer," she said quietly. "I didn't want to. I panicked," she said. "When you told me to leave, I thought you were done. I didn't know what to do." "So you went to him?" Her eyes dropped. "It was a mistake." "No," I said. "It was consistent." She stood up. "Tom, please. Just let me explain. I went there because I didn't think I had a choice. But I realized something. I was wrong. About everything." I stayed silent. I thought I could have it both ways. You and the excitement. But I can't. I want you. I love you. I always have. I sat down across from her. I talked to him. She froze. "Who?" "Damien." Her face drained. "What? What did he say?" "That you showed up at his place uninvited. Told him you left me. Tried to start something." She swallowed hard. "I thought he wanted that." "He didn't." She nodded slowly. "I know." I leaned forward. "Why him, Tanya? Out of everyone. Why the plumber?" She looked me in the eyes. "Because he wasn't you." I laughed once. "That's supposed to help?" "No. But it's the truth." She stepped around the table and sat next to me. "I want to try again. Please. Just give me the chance." I stared at her. She looked desperate now. Not in a manipulative way. She looked like someone who realized she'd bet everything on the wrong hand and lost. Then she said something unexpected. "You can do whatever you want. Divorce me. Freeze the accounts. Take the house. I won't fight it. Just don't hate me." I stood up, walked to the fridge, poured a glass of water. "You still lying to me?" I asked without turning around. "No." I faced her. "Last chance. Anything else I should know?" She hesitated, just for a second, and that was all I needed. I pulled out the envelope I'd brought from the cabin, dropped it on the table. She opened it. Inside was a letter I found in her nightstand drawer the night before she left. A handwritten note from someone. It wasn't from Damien. It was from our neighbor, Mark, the one who lived across the street. The letter was dated 3 months before the plumber ever showed up. "I miss the way you laugh," it read. "I still think about that weekend at the conference. Don't let guilt trap you in that house. You deserve to be happy." Tanya's hands trembled as she folded it back up. "You think this is just about one guy?" I said. "It wasn't. You were gone long before the leak." She didn't even try to deny it. And that's when I knew for sure. She never stopped cheating. She just changed partners. She didn't cry. She sat motionless at the kitchen table, staring at the letter in her hands like it was written in a language she didn't understand. Like the paper itself had betrayed her by existing. I gave her a few seconds. Then I spoke. "You said it started with the plumber." She didn't look up. "That letter's from before him. Months before. So how long has this actually been going on?" She opened her mouth, but no sound came out. "You think I care if it was just one time with Mark?" I asked. "That's not the point anymore. You lied. Over and over. You made me think it was one mistake, one guy. You buried the rest." "I didn't want to hurt you," she whispered. I stared at her. "You didn't want to get caught." She looked up, finally. "It was one night with him. I swear. It was before things got bad between us." "So what was your excuse with Damien?" She didn't answer. I turned and walked upstairs. Packed the rest of her clothes into the suitcase she'd left by the door 2 weeks ago. Folded everything quickly. Didn't take my time. I wasn't doing her a favor. I was cleaning house. When I came back down, she was still there, now standing with her arms crossed, defensive. "You're kicking me out." "I already asked you to leave once," I said. "This time I'm not asking. I made mistakes, Tom. But so did you. Don't compare us. You think being cold, distant, working nonstop, that didn't push me away?" I stared at her. "I didn't push you toward them. That was all you." She tried again. "We were disconnected. I didn't know how to reach you anymore." "So you reached for the neighbor? And when that fizzled, you moved on to the guy fixing the faucet." "That's not fair." "No," I said. "What's not fair is how long I kept believing this was salvageable. I set a second envelope on the table. Divorce papers. Signed and ready. She looked down at it, her face frozen in something between shock and defeat. I already spoke to a lawyer, I said. It's filed. You'll get a formal notice in a few days. I can't believe you're doing this, she muttered. I grabbed her suitcase, set it beside her. You burned everything. I'm just cleaning up the ashes. She stayed silent for a long time. Then, you're really done? I was done the second I realized this wasn't about one guy or one moment. It was about who you are when no one's watching. She didn't argue anymore. She took the suitcase and walked out. No dramatic goodbye. No last-minute breakdown. Just the sound of the door shutting behind her. After she left, I sat on the stairs and listened to the silence. It didn't feel empty. It felt right. Over the next 2 weeks, Tanya called a few times. Sent texts. The first ones were emotional, then angry, then desperate again. I didn't answer any of them. I didn't need to. A week after that, I found out from a neighbor that Damien had moved out of town. Quit the plumbing job. Gone without notice. Mark? His wife found the letter too. She threw him out. The whole street found out within days. I never said a word to anyone. The divorce finalized a month later. Clean. No drama. She didn't contest a single item. I kept the house, the car, the accounts. Sometimes, I still think about what would have happened if I hadn't come home early that day. If I'd kept believing her lies just a little longer. But that kind of thinking doesn't help. She didn't ruin the marriage in a single moment. She chipped away at it until there was nothing left but appearances. And when the cracks finally showed, she ran. In the end, I didn't lose a wife. I just uncovered the truth about the one I already lost.